Hello, hello. Oh,
Hello.
getting full. That's great. Yeah, I think can you hear me well? Yes. So everyone is turning on the camera. Yeah, so you can turn your camera. It's always nice to see faces in the world of virtual meetings. Yeah, so dear colleagues, welcome everyone. It's so welcome to the today's Victory study meeting. It's really a true pleasure to see so many familiar faces and dedicated colleagues who are coming together. And let me first of all really use this unique moment to sincerely thank everyone for your continuous engagement, commitment, and your really so valuable contributions to this important study. Yeah, your dedication is really wonderful and so essential to try to identify strategies to improve the outcomes of our patients. So today we have an exciting agenda, or we try to develop an exciting agenda for you, and we really try to make this as interactive as even possible. As every study, we are facing as well problems. But I think it's a strength of an investigator-initiated try to identify together ways how to overcome them, and we have just to be open and transparent about potential hurdles, etc. And we as well want to use this first investigator meeting after a while to bring back to this group the discussion point about like, are you interested in any publications beside the in addition to the major publication in the end of the study? Please let us know if you're interested to follow up with us on other projects on which we are working. So feel free to just leave here in the chat a message or to text me or to write me an email. And yes, let's make this a productive and inspiring session for everyone. I look forward to our discussions. And I think with this, I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda right now in front of me, but I think I kindly hand it over to Maureen, yes, to guide us through the current status of the study. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. So just we wanted to share with are you seeing the Victory recruitment report, Christian? Yes. Okay, good.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, perfect. So, yeah, perfect. So, we wanted to share with you what the executive committee looks at on a monthly basis. So, at the end of every month, Shauna Fraze, whom most of you know, our data manager, puts together a report for us. And what we look at is what's happening with every site. So, you can see all of the sites that are actively recruiting listed here, all of the, when they started, were activated, started recruiting and started screening and started randomizing and all of those things, including the number of patients randomized at each of these sites. These numbers are just a little off. We've had 5 enrollments in March, so this is as of the end of February. But you can see some of our sites have randomized more than 20 patients. A few have randomized more than 10, and then as we go. And so we take a look at that overall number and how many patients we've got enrolled in the study, as well as on a month-to-month basis. So this was as of the month of February. We look at the number of sites and which sites are entering screening data and which sites have randomized. So we had a number of very slow months where only 2 patients or 3 patients a month were randomized. We're glad to say that in March that has picked up again, so we're already up to 5 patients. But this chart, this graph shows you what we anticipate our enrollments to look like on a month-to-month basis. And as you can see, we had this downward trend from October, November, December, January, February, March, or February. And then we'll see in March, we're going to jump back up again, which is good. And so that's part of the reason that we thought it was so important to get everyone together again to find out and send out the survey to say what's going on. Is there anything we can help with? How can we better serve you? And so again, this is the cumulative graph that shows where we should be. We're starting to fall down a little bit again from that. We had a pretty good point here where we were starting to converge. And so we're hoping to be able to swing that back up and begin to start gaining ground again. Again, just a look at who's enrolling, what that's been enrolled, as well as the blue graph. Part of the graph shows the screening activity as well for those patients screened but not randomized. And then we take a look at why our patients are being excluded. Most of that is due to the more than 24 hours from the time that they're admitted until the patient can be consented or their family member. And then, going down from there, some patients are moribund. Some patients, it's more than 24 hours from the time they receive their burn until they're admitted to the hospital. And so looking at, is there anything that we can change or do to help with recruitment from that perspective? And then the last thing we really look at are the reasons that patients aren't consented. And so the highest reason that we see is that patients or family members aren't interested. And then the other thing is maybe they time out or they're too overwhelmed. And so there is a big, problem with having no next of kin available, no family member, or the patient isn't able to provide consent for themselves. But that is certainly something that we're aware of. We do know that we have some sites that are able to do consent in unconventional ways, whether that's via email or text message, but that's not approved in all regions and all areas. And so that continues to be the biggest concern. While we're looking at this data, we did want to take just a moment and recognize and acknowledge those sites that have enrolled phenomenal amounts of patients. So our Dr. Sylvain Bellil at Hotel Dieu in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Dr. Turgeon at L'Enfant Jésus in Quebec City, Quebec, and as well as Dr. Mario Martinez Jimenez in San Luis Potosi, Mexico. They've all enrolled more than 20 patients in the study. And then in Seattle, Washington, Cologne, Germany, and in Paraguay, we have Dr. Tam Pham, Dr. Ulrich Limper, and then Dr. Daisy Grau, who have all enrolled more than 10 patients. And so we thank you all for any of the patients that you've enrolled, but particularly to those sites that have enrolled multiple patients. We're very appreciative of those efforts. So just taking a moment to say thank you to all of you. Any questions? Yes, Christian's got his hand up. I'm going to pass it back to you, Christian.
It was just an applause.
Okay. Applause. So yes, thank you to all sites that have enrolled, even one patient. We're very appreciative.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And recruiting patients into a trial is one of the remains in every clinical trial, one of the major hurdles, one of the major problems. So therefore, we are as well open for any discussions or any ideas or suggestions how we can improve that. Yeah. So if you have something in mind, please let us know about that. We know that consenting is a problem in the field of acute care. So we um, have discussed this. We have explored different models, etc., but it's still too far in the weeds, yeah, so that we can come up with something new, yeah, so with new alternative ways to facilitate the consenting procedures. Any questions to the recruitment report? Any comments to that? So Maureen flagged one very important point. So we have to um, get momentum again. Yeah. So if this is the right English expression. Yeah. So we know that there are. So we know that in every clinical trial there are like some slower recruitment rates after the Christmas break, etc., etc. Um, but we really um, hope that we can come back to the fantastic recruitment rates which we had, I think, before October last year, which were really brilliant. Yeah, so we had higher recruitment rates than projected. And this is really amazing to see what we can achieve. Yeah, if there are no any further questions or comments to the recruitment report here, if this is not the case, then I would kindly hand over to Eileen, so to guide us through the next topic of our agenda.
Sure,
Eileen, I know
thanks.
that, yeah, you can speak. Perfect.
Can you see my screen with the slide now? All right, so let's get some presentation mode. Can you see the presentation mode now? Give me a nod. Thanks, Maureen. All
Wonderful.
right. So, first of all, thank you for everyone who participated. We've got quite many people involved in this trial. It was a bit on short notice, but I'm still thankful that we had this amount of people participating. Um, Most of the people were study nurses or research coordinators, but we also had PIs or other investigators or even pharmacists responding. So I think it is representative for everyone who's involved in the study. And most of you who participated have been involved in clinical research for quite a long time. Most people more than 7 years. Although for the most part, you responded that this was your first trial in burn patients. So burn patients come with different challenges, as we just discussed. That we have trouble getting consent, and we never know when a patient's coming in. So that might be hurdles for recruitment. I was overwhelmed by the motivation that you all said you had. And most of you were very, very motivated to continue recruiting, and most of you were interested in the science behind vitamin C or burn patients, and you have a personal interest in clinical research. So that was the biggest motivation. And almost everyone said that they do expect this trial to have a long-term impact on the burn patient care on the lower left side here. And you do believe that this will be a meaningful scientific contribution. So thank you all for this amount of motivation. Then we looked a bit more closely into resources and obstacles of
Eileen, can
recruitment.
you eventually do full screen because it's like shared screen right now?
Wait, what are you seeing?
I see the presenter mode.
You see presenter mode now.
It's it's
That's
it's
not useful.
okay, yeah. So I'm just asking if it's
Uh,
possible. I don't know if you
any
have
better
two
now?
screens. Yeah, better. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
I'm getting old. Yeah, so
No, it's too small. Otherwise, the slides are packed with tiny font pictures. Um, so we've looked into resources, and most of you agree that you have sufficient resources at your sites. Some people say they neither agree or disagree, and there were I think one response each saying they don't have enough research sources to support patient recruitment. Most of the people responding said they had good or excellent institutional support to conduct clinical trial at their sites. So there were a few people who says, no, it's not really, might not be enough. The same goes for financial support, where most of you said they don't have any issues regarding financial challenges or perhaps case fees. A bit more varying with the responses to question 7, if the site or if the case fees you receive cover the expenses at your institution. There's very mixed. So we have some people who says yes, they do cover costs, but also a lot of participants stating no, only half or a quarter of expenses are covered. So that's an important indicator for us why some people might be more hesitant to recruit if some PIs, if they have to pay a little extra for the trial and they might not have financial resources to do that. It might be challenging, although then again, most of you state you do have enough financial support, maybe coming from other sources. So overall, people who participated were quite satisfied in their appreciation, or also with the way that we communicate with you and your sites, or that we might be easily contacted. And most of you also stated that they do feel our materials that we provide regarding REDCap or consent forms or other case report forms, that they are clear and helpful. None of you suggested any specific need for improvement here. But we had some people saying that a few more training sessions might be appreciated on the side of on the sites. So if you do wish for more training, or if you have new study staff and you require additional retraining or initial training for this for your staff, then just get back to us, and we'll make that happen, of course, and we appreciate every efforts on your part. So then I ask you guys a bit about the obstacles, and there we see a heterogeneous picture as well. So we do have some people that face regulatory or administrative burdens that make recruitment difficult. Some of you stated the family is not available in the time frame, or some have pharmacy staffing issue or IT side IT issues. That's what we got back, and most of you don't have any competing interests or competing trials, which is good. So the largest issue, this is the support slide. Okay. So some of you wanted more training sessions, wanted regular feedback. Increased resources surely wouldn't help, but the biggest issue seems to be that the most sites don't see enough patients that meet the inclusion criteria. So in the free text response form, most of you state that you just don't have enough patients with a burn surface area of more than 20%. So lack of eligible patients is the biggest obstacle of this trial, which is also shown here in the slide question 5. Most say we can deal with the workload, we can deal with the lack of consent. None of you is not engaged. You're all motivated, but most of you struggle seeing the right patients and getting them included. So also for question 7, you said the inclusion criteria are somewhat difficult to meet at your sites, and also you don't have to read each single sentence on the right side, but everything that's underlined in orange is basically stating that you just don't see the right patients. I was a bit relieved actually to see these responses, because it is meaning that you are all very motivated, you have strong scientific interest, you are supporting this trial, but just lack of patience makes it difficult. So overall, many thanks for your positivity, for your motivation, for your willingness to work on this trial. And also thanks that you would recommend this trial and our team to other people. So if you ever face challenges that you cannot address at your own side, please just give us some feedback and we will see if there's anything we can do to support you and to support your recruitment. And we really appreciate all of your efforts. So hopefully we can have a bit of discussion, perhaps some of you sharing what's working great at your side or how you overcame obstacles at each individual site. All right.
Wait, the chat. Do you see the chat?
Yes, I saw the chat. So Cassandra's saying she can't wait until the epic build is finally ready. What is the epic build? Can you share that? I'm unsure.
So anytime we have a treatment trial of any kind, we have to have something in our EMR, our medical record system and ordering system, to make sure that all the parties know what's going on with the patient, obviously. And so for us, a particular struggle has been getting the pharmacy pieces in place in order to be able to offer this research study in general. So for us, we haven't even been able to get off the ground in terms of that part. Although we're working very hard and diligently, that's been our struggle. So we haven't even been able to start enrolling, sadly.
But it sounds like you're very much positive that you can start soon, right?
Absolutely. We're finally coming to the finish line, which is really exciting. It's been a lot of education on the pharmacy's end and on our IT folks' end, just to make sure we do this correctly.
All right, sounds good.
This site has been ready for almost 6 months and just waiting on the pharmacy build. So it's been I've been appreciative of them because they've not lost enthusiasm this entire time. So we can't wait. Get them started. Someone else chat.
So maybe we can ask. So Jochen, if you don't mind, why I see you? Yeah, you belong to our top recruiters here in Germany. Can you briefly share why it works so well at your side? So what is the magic behind?
Okay.
Yeah, so that you are able to recruit so many patients?
Well, thank you for the merits. Well, we just included all patients who were eligible, so we are not doing any special. We just look for the patients, and if they meet the inclusion criteria, we just include them. So we have no institutional problems or problems with including the patients. There's a fixed process which is working pretty good, and well, all the problems presented then in the poll, we don't have any problems here. It was
And
a
even
pity that
with the
last year
pharmacy, yeah,
we had this gap where this time frame in Germany, the time gap when we were not able to include patients, because
yeah,
especially at that time we had a lot of patients actually eligible, so it was pretty sad
yeah,
for us.
yeah. So and
I
even
still
with the
don't know
pharmacy,
what
yeah,
was the problem at the time, but maybe you can.
yeah. So just for all, we had a recruitment break for the European sites because we had to do some had to do some regulatory updates. So this is as well an explanation for the dip which you have seen in the recruitment. Yeah, so which happened with some delay, and we have new regulations since right now 1.5 year, and we so although we adapted our process in while the trial was already approved, even the authorities, regulatory authorities, told us that they are in a learning process. So it is a continuous learning process together with the authorities, which makes it really challenging in Europe. So it takes cost, resources, and not only financial resources as well, like emotional resources. Yeah, so which is really right now in Europe um, a major hurdle. But we are overcoming these. Yeah, so we have identified the problems. So and we came up with solutions, updates, and I'm really confident that we are in a good place to build up momentum as well in Europe again. The only other problem which I'm facing, just to be transparent, here in Europe as well. So, for example, the pilot phase was funded. The pilot phase here for the German side was funded by the German research organization, whereas it's sometimes problematic to explain the German research foundation that we want as well have some financial support for sites and centers outside of Germany. So this makes the funding system sometimes a bit complex. For example, when I look to Nadia is in Italy ready to get started, but we have to make sure that we have as well the uh, um, regulatory and financial resources to really roll it out in Italy and in France, for example, for which we have the approval as well in place. It's a bit complicated, yeah. So these are really problems which are happening when the system is changing, while something or when something already started earlier. But on the other hand, I have to state I'm pretty proud that we as team um, overcame these challenges, and we are coming together from time to time again and again, discussing the problems in a very constructive way and exploring ways together. This is just the way it is, yeah. So there are problems again and again, and we have to identify ways how to overcome them. And this is really what makes this team here really wonderful with all of you here. And if I can just add to that, and here I would like just briefly to look into the direction of Mark Jeschke, for example, and uh, Volker, who's not part of this team here. We just thought that this group here is so unique that we think about a way how we can continue that and share the wonderful experience of this clinical trial. And there are different initiatives which we try to bring together. Yeah, so for example, there's a European Society of Intensive Care Medicine, which is interested to form kind of research group, a group of people who are interested in international research with patients with severe burn injuries, and they contacted us to work together. And because we have a lot of learnings which we can share here, yeah. So we have waste of years, decades of experience. Maureen and Shauna has all the experience, and some of you have been already part of the re-energize trial and all of this. There's something so special that our big international societies are really interested in what is happening here. And yeah, so therefore I'm really proud of what we have, and I think it's a wonderful situation to think about, like, what else can we do with that? Yeah, so how can we share this experience, and how can we keep how can we use this as well for other research activities? sorry, I'm stopping the monologue right now, but I just want to share here's a broader picture so that there's a lot of recognition, so international recognition. So many people around the globe really knows about this trial. We have a lot of interested other colleagues who we would like to join the VICToRY trial, and because of this unique experience. Yeah. Yeah. Any questions to that? So we will come back to this aspect at a later stage of the trial, maybe later this year. All right. If this is not the case, so then I would briefly open the discussion and exchange for another topic. I would like to talk with you, or at least would like to share at least that we are as well always open for ideas for applications which one of you may have. If you are interested in some specific research questions which you would like to explore, then please don't be shy. Yeah, so you can reach out to us, and if you want to take over ownership of specific research questions or manuscripts. For example, Gabriel has really published wonderful works, wonderful manuscripts, sorry, which were secondary analysis of the re-energized trial. And I want to just be clear that we are very open to open these opportunities as well for everyone who is interested in specific research questions. We are as well planning some secondary analysis. So, for example, we would like to explore the role of obesity, patient with severe burn injuries, which has already been studied in the past, but we want to evaluate the role of obesity from a different perspective. And another manuscript which we have on our agenda is to describe the nutrition practice, and here to describe the relevance of nutrition practice on outcomes of patients with severe burn injuries. But there are so many other research ideas which are important to be explored. Some of them are on our list, but maybe you have as well some ideas. So please feel free to share them. If you really would like to lead them, we are very happy to discuss this or to hand this project over to you, this publication, so that you can really be first author, last author, whatever you have in mind. Any questions to that? So then the last point. So if you are too shy to come up with any questions or thoughts here, so please feel free to just drop me an email or else. The last point is I just want to share or ask here who is coming to the next meetings. I personally am not going to the ABA meeting in April, but I'm pretty sure that Dr. Cancio is going to the ABA meeting. Is someone else of this team going to the ABA meeting?
The whole clinical team from Harborview will be at the ABA meeting as well.
Oh, wonderful. Oh. Thank you.
I would expect Dr. Yeschke, Mark Yeschke is going, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Yes, you are. I'm on call. Love to know.
You're not going. Oh.
First time in a while I can't. I'm actually volunteered to stay behind so my colleagues can go. But I'm in spirit with you.
And then there is the EBA meeting, yeah, so which is in September, so it's still a while, yeah. So and I think this could be another opportunity to set up another meeting in person, yeah. So where we can meet and exchange and have another in-person stakeholder meeting. And did I miss another meeting? Let me look on the agenda, Maureen, which you have drafted. I
No,
think
the
that's
ABA and
it.
the EBA were the only two that I know about. So if anyone knows about others, and it's an opportunity for people to come together and meet, then let us know. Yeah.
Yeah, there will be actually the ISBI in Thessaloniki, Greece, in December.
December.
Oh, I thought it's every other year. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
buy.
but it's the short is the let's say the smallest one.
Okay.
Every second
Okay.
year there is the big one, and then there is, let's say, the intermediate or small one.
Okay.
And that's a European conference, Nadia?
No, it's the International Society of Burn Injuries. That one
Oh,
that
okay.
was in Birmingham last year.
Ah, okay. Yes.
So it's probably is not there will not be so many participants as there were in Birmingham because it's the intermediate congress, but it's anyway another opportunity.
Definitely. Definitely.
All
And we
right.
also wanted to mention, if I may, Christian, that
Absolutely.
for future, number one, we're probably going to do these stakeholder meetings every 3 months moving forward. So the next one in June. But we'd like to throw out there, if anyone has a topic they'd like to discuss or would like to offer a presentation during one of these meetings that you can share with obviously all of these international colleagues, please let us know. We'd be glad to put you on the agenda for a short presentation, as well as for any of the sites who are screening and enrolling patients that would like to share your experiences. As we had today a little bit of, we'd love to have you do that as well. So please feel free to let us know if you're interested in presenting something or sharing your experiences for one of the future meetings. That would be great. We found it's always helpful when sites who are actually in the trenches doing the work can share with your colleagues about the challenges that you're having or the successes that you're having. We don't see burn patients here, Sean or I, and I know Dr. Stoppy and his team don't see burn patients. Eileen does, Dr. Hill does, but the rest of us on the leadership team do not. So it's really helpful when the people who are actually doing the work can speak up and share your experiences.
All right. So as I know that everyone is super busy, yeah. So
David
are there
is
any
telling us
questions?
there's also a Western Regional Burn Conference in June in Seattle,
Yeah.
Washington this year. Add that to the list.
Okay, thank you, David.
Mm.
Yeah, but anyways, so for those of you who know me well, I will love to give you time back to your day. Yeah, so and as we are all busy and time is really something which we really need. Let me just once again to express our gratitude for your time, commitment, dedication, and yeah, the wonderful progress of the VICToRY is really only possible because of your wonderful efforts which you are putting into this trial. I truly appreciate your interest and your engagement. And thank you all for your insights, all the discussions. Feel free to reach out to our team here or to me if you're really interested to be more involved in the research activities which are happening in parallel to the VICTory trial. I look forward to future exchanges and next discussions and to seeing once in future the impact of our wonderful work together. Wishing you all a wonderful day and thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.